Okay, hello everyone. This is Kevin Gilmore here at the National Weather Service's office in Slidell, Louisiana. We'll be getting starting here in just one moment. I just want to verify if anyone can hear me. Perfect. I'm getting confirmation that everyone can hear me here. We're going to get started. Okay. Hello everyone. I just want to kind of get started here about the latest with Tropical Storm Marco and Tropical Storm Laura and the expected impacts across the area. Really, we haven't seen many changes here early or through the evening and the early part of the night yet. We are waiting here 30 minutes from a new update from the National Hurricane Center at 10 o'clock Central Daylight Time, where we'll get some more information about the track intensity and what we're expecting here in southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. We're kind of going to go over a little bit of details. We're going to focus a little bit more on Marco for this one, as of course with both storms have the potential to impact the area. We know that Marco is going to be the first one we may have to deal with, and then following beyond that, going in towards the middle part of next week or the upcoming week, we may be dealing with also Laura as well. But we're going to kind of go through that a step at a time and explain this as clearly as possible. First, with a current overview of first Marco, as you can see here with the loop of the infrared satellite imagery. This is the Gulf of Mexico in the center here, and you see that this cluster of convection, which is illustrated by these colder cloud tops using infrared satellite, is representative of where Tropical Storm Marco is currently located. This system is showing a little bit of disorganization, as there is a upper level trough out to the west in the western Gulf, which is causing a lot of shear from the southwest to the northeast on the system, and is kind of not really giving it the best time for it to develop or develop quickly. So it is struggling slightly here tonight, but it does continue to kind of slowly move off to the north, and like I said, will possibly be impacting parts of the northern Gulf Coast, including southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. Additionally, as we talked about before, this is Tropical Storm Laura, which is now pulling a little bit now west of Puerto Rico, but continues to show some interactions with the mountains across Hispaniola, and is crossing over very mountainous terrain right now, and it shows a little bit of a struggle. However, you do see some pretty good anticyclonic upper level rotation around it, meaning this is the storm system. It's struggling a little bit due to the interaction of land, but is continuing its westward motion. And as we see across the entire northern hemisphere where these two are shown here, you see that the big blob of storms and convection there over Hispaniola, right out ahead of it, roughly around 1,400 miles or around 1,500 miles away from New Orleans. And Marco here closer to the west, closer to us, around 700 to 650 miles away southeast of Louisiana. We're going to have to be dealing with Marco first as it moves north, and then Laura will be tracking right just about behind it, coming in the Gulf towards the earlier part of the upcoming week. So let's go ahead and start about, like I said, with Marco first. This was the 7 p.m. intermediate advisory that came out with no real adjustments to the track, no major changes, that is. We're still expecting impacts across the area. That's as you see there in the pink, that's hurricane watches. We also have tropical storm watches inland. We'll talk about that here in a second. Really, like I said, we're going to be seeing heavy rain, minor coastal flooding possible as well, some surge, gusty winds, and a lot of impacts around the area. Again, as far as the time frame goes, that'll be early Monday. We're getting into beginning early Monday, lasting through the day on Monday. I wanted to show you too some of the talking points. I'm going to go through each one of these that we're expecting for Marco. We're expecting the worst conditions across southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi to begin as early as Sunday night, and it will possibly last through Tuesday. That means that you should have preparations, any type of kit or just a plan in place in case there's evacuations issued, or that you just want to get out of the way of the storm. If you're in an area that sees flooding rains or surge along the coast, you want to just get out of here. We want to make sure that you make these plans or do anything you need to do before Sunday night. Now, we're going to talk about a storm surge. We're expecting 3 to 5 foot inundation along the open coast of east of Grand Isle, with 2 to 4 west of Grand Isle, which also includes Pontchartrain and Maurepas. Rainfall 3 to 6 inches across the area through Tuesday, with local amounts even double or more. So we could have locally higher amounts, especially near where the center of the storm passes. Wind. Sustained hurricane force winds will be possibly mainly smaller areas near Marco's core. That remains to be seen, as again we have a little bit of a low confidence on the exact center track at this moment. And also, we didn't mention this before, but there will be a threat of short-lived and fast-moving tornadoes generally near the center or east of the center of the low-pressure center once it makes landfall, of the center of the storm once it makes landfall. So be aware as well. All four of these threats are probably the primary things to focus on when Marco is going to be attempting to making landfall here in the northern Gulf Coast. Going through each one of these specifically, hurricane and tropical storm watches do remain in effect across a large portion of the area. This includes a hurricane watch for coastal areas of southeast Louisiana, South Mississippi, and a tropical storm watch for further inland areas up to the southern Mississippi counties. This is in effect right now. So this is the watch phase. As we've been saying, the watch phase is the time to prepare. Storm surge watch, also in effect due to the potential of what I just said of storm surge across coastal areas. That includes the coastal areas of southeast Louisiana, southern Mississippi, all the sounds and tidal lake locations. We talked about the inundations already, 3 to 5 feet east of Grand Isle, 2 to 4 west, and including Lake Pontchartrain and Maurepas. So just something to take in consideration. And remember, storm surge can be deadly. Storm surge causes devastating flooding and along the coast, and we want you to listen to officials and follow evacuation orders. We want you to make sure that you are aware that storm surge is a real threat, and want you to stay weather ready. Let's see, moving along here. Also, we have a flood watch, or sorry, excuse me, a flash flood watch in effect for the area, coastal and near coastal areas of southeast Louisiana. This is in effect from late Sunday night on the onset of the conditions that we're expecting, but lasting through Tuesday morning. So this is for Marco. We want to make sure that these watches that you see in effect are specifically for Marco. There is a chance that this flash flood watch could be extended north and I would say east as well. This just once we get a little bit more of a confident track and from the National Hurricane Center where the storm's going to go, confidence will increase and the watch will be expanded as well. That just remains to be seen. Also, don't drive around barricades. We always say turn around, don't drown when it comes to flash flooding around here. Just be smart if you happen to be driving around or out and around during the system, which we hope you're not going to be. Be aware that flash flooding is a potential. And again, never drive through flooded roads. Most fatalities occur in vehicles. That's why we're worried about if you happen to be driving, just don't do it. If you see roads covered, don't even give it a try. It's not worth risking your life and the lives of rescue units coming in to try and save you. Just as we said, turn around and don't drown. And the very last thing to talk about is going to be Tropical Storm Laura. Significant impacts possible Wednesday into Thursday. This system's going to be crossing over the islands, the Greater Antilles of the Caribbean, eventually coming in the Gulf of Mexico late Tuesday and into late Monday and early Tuesday. Then the system looks like it's strengthening into a hurricane and has looked like the potential that it could follow the same path, very generally the same path as Marco, impacting parts of the southern Louisiana coastline. We're not going to talk much about this one first because, like I said, we really want to focus on Marco first, but just be aware, the big takeaway about Laura is that preparations from Laura could be more difficult if there are lingering impacts from Tropical Storm Marco. We don't want you to let your guard down, especially once Marco passes. We want you to stay vigilant. Stay weather ready and weather aware that also another storm could be following right behind it. So it is very vital for anyone along southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi to please pay attention to weather information, reliable weather information, weather sources in the case that warnings are going to possibly going to be issued, hurricane watches or warnings that may be possible. And even though watches from Marco may be canceled, they could be replaced by watches for another storm passing it. So this is not a typical situation for the area, and we want to really stress that this is not a typical situation. It has happened before based out of climatology. We have had two systems in the Gulf before, and we've even had our area here in southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi impacted by two storms before as well. It's just not really that common, and we want people to be as aware as possible that this is just not one storm. We may be actually dealing with two storms in this case, beginning as early as Sunday night through Tuesday, and then again possibly Wednesday and on Thursday. So that's all the main talking points we want to go over tonight. We have a new update from the National Hurricane Center coming in at 10 o'clock Central Daylight Time. We'll be posting that on Twitter and Facebook, give you all the latest information when it comes across. This will be the last Facebook Live of the night, and we promised we'll have plenty more tomorrow because it'll be pretty busy here at the Weather Service, and we'll be trying to keep you best informed as we can, and with preparations and the best information we can pass along. So with that said, we'll meet back here tomorrow, and I hope everyone has a great night.